everyone who has signed up for the challenge. It started off with just a few of us, and there's 141 now signed up. So it's fantastic. And it's globally. People from Australia, America, different parts of Europe, India. So we're absolutely delighted. I guess for me, doing it for 30 days in a row it's going to be somewhat, they say it's 66 days to form a habit now, but if we do this for 30 days in a row, we'll be well on our way to forming a good habit. I discovered, I suppose, meditation, mindfulness about 2 years ago when I was lucky enough at work that they co-funded a mindfulness course, and it was kind of from there that I became a little bit addicted to it. And I did mindfulness-based stress reduction course for 8 weeks, and then I discovered the One World Academy, which has been absolutely amazing for me. I did a course last October, I think it was, with the good Joe, and Krishnaraj and Samardashini came over from India to do it, and there's quite a few of us on this call and on the challenge that did that course, and I know that we all found it amazing. So it's kind of, this is about spreading the love of One World Academy and meditation indeed, and hopefully I know that quite a few of you have never experienced meditation before, so hopefully after the 30 days you'll have found some benefit. And I read lately, we individually, I think we take somewhere between 17 and 30,000 breaths a day. And at the end of the day, as one of my friends, Mick, posted on the page the other day, if only one of them we take mindfully and be present and conscious with, that is meditation in itself. So the plan for the next 30 days is I'm going to post a timetable. We're being very resourceful here. There's meditations that happen every single day of the week nearly, hosted by One World Academy members, and I'm going to post the timetable of that, and you're very welcome to join into any of those calls. So we thank Bianca, Lynette, Magdalena for allowing us to do that. Then daily, either myself, Joe, or both are going to do a quick meditation that's on probably on Facebook Live. And that will be looking at the questionnaire. I think most of you thought 9 p.m. in the evening. And there was a few of you that wanted 6:15 a.m. So I'm an early bird, so I don't mind doing that. So there's going to be lots and lots of options for you to dial in daily to a meditation, or indeed you can do it by yourself at home, and just by even taking a few deep conscious breaths throughout the day, that will be your challenge. So yeah, I'm going to pass over to Krishnaraj now, who's going to lead us with a little teaching and a meditation as well. So I want to thank Joe and Krishnaraj for all their help in pulling together this challenge. So I'll lead you now, leave it over to you, Krishnaraj. Thank you. Thank you,
Sinead. I think this is a wonderful idea you've come up with, this 30-day meditation challenge. And like you rightly said, if people can make meditation into a daily habit, and definitely if they do it for 30 days in a row without a break, it's really going to show its effects. So for those of you who don't know me or One World Academy, One World Academy is a meditation and wisdom school. It is founded in South India in Chennai by a young and visionary couple, Krishnaji and Preetaji. In fact, Preetaji, one of the founders of the academy, is currently in Miami doing a 4-day course called The Beautiful State. So the vision with which One World Academy has been founded by Krishnaji and Preetaji is to bring about a total transformation in consciousness, which means a movement away from a limited I consciousness to a limitless experience of one consciousness, where you feel one and connected with all of existence. So all the programs of the academy, the meditations, the teachings, the wisdom, everything is oriented towards this end of bringing about a total transformation in consciousness. It's about awakening people to a very profound sense of connection with all life. Because once you're awakened to that sense of connection, your actions become very inclusive, very considerate of the well-being of others. And that at One World Academy we call spiritual right action. That is action that arises from a beautiful state, an expansive state of consciousness, an action that is directed at causing all-round well-being. So to us at One World Academy in our courses, we see the coming together of liberative wisdom and direct experience. Liberative wisdom is spiritual wisdom that is free of concepts, that is free of binding concepts, binding ideas, and rather it is wisdom that awakens you to your inner truth. It is wisdom that puts you in touch with your inner truth in any given moment. It is wisdom that sets you free of limitation. It is wisdom that dissolves suffering. That we call as liberative wisdom. And direct experience, which is to have a direct experience of an expanded state of consciousness. We could understand what it means to feel connected to all life, but that understanding is complete when you have a direct experience of a transcendental state where your brain actually feels that way. Those barriers which create this illusion of separation are lifted, and you clearly see and feel yourself as being one with all life, as being part of all life. So all our courses involve a coming together of both these factors. There is the liberative wisdom that will set you free, that will open the frontiers of your mind. There is a direct experience that will awaken you to a transcendental state of consciousness. And meditation is like the path that helps you get grounded in both, in liberative wisdom as well as direct experience. Once you have a direct experience, what helps you sustain that experience, what helps you grow in it further, what helps you nurture those insights, that beautiful wisdom that you have received, is meditation. Meditation is the path to that sustenance. And the meditations at One World Academy are designed by Preeta ji, the founder of One World Academy herself. And they are designed with the sole objective of helping people experience a beautiful state of consciousness as well as nurture a beautiful state of consciousness. To us, meditation is not just about sitting still. It's not about some impossible goal of stopping all thought. It's not about it. To us, meditation is not about a religious experience, though if you are a person of faith, you could experience the presence of your God in meditation. You could feel closer to source or consciousness or whatever you consider as sacred. But the main objective with which Preeta ji has designed these meditations at One World Academy is to train you in the art of observation. It is to help your brain, it is to help your mind to become observant. If we must live in a beautiful state, if we must live in a state that is free of emotional disturbances in the form of anxiety, fear, anger, worry, or stress, then the first step towards that beautiful existence is to become conscious of what you're feeling internally, to become conscious of how your emotions are flowing, to become conscious of moments in life when you're feeling beautiful, when you're in a beautiful state of gratitude or love or connection. to also become conscious of moments when you're not feeling beautiful. I think many people are conscious of moments when they are in a beautiful state. We know when we are feeling love. We know when we are feeling grateful, when we are able to appreciate the other. We know when we are able to appreciate beauty. But there is this strange tendency in humanity that we try to shy away from moments when we are feeling stressed. We try to cover up a moment of fear. We try to give ourselves excuses and explanations when there is a moment of anger. There is somehow a reluctance to acknowledge and recognize a moment when we are not in a beautiful state. And that could become a very big obstacle if people don't even manage to recognize when they are not in a beautiful state. Then how would you be able to put your wisdom to use and dissolve that conflicted state of being? We will only be trying to escape. We will only be trying to cover it up. We will only be trying to, we will actually be deceiving ourselves. We could be feeling fear, but because we don't choose to acknowledge that we are in fear, because we are afraid of what others might think of us, or we are afraid of our own self-image being lost, or we have an image that I'm someone who is immune to all these experiences, or I'm above all these experiences, or whatever. If we keep deceiving ourselves, if we come in the way of seeing our own truth, there can be no transformation in consciousness. At One World Academy, we use the word truth very selectively. We are not referring to any philosophical absolute truth. We're only referring to a very simple truth, the truth of your inner state of being in any given moment. And particularly, the truth of your conflicted inner state of being when it is there. You might not be in a conflicted state at all times, but when it is there, the best thing you could do to yourself, the best way you could help yourself is to become conscious of that conflicted inner state, is to become observant of what is pushing you into that conflicted inner state, is to stop struggling with the truth that you are stressed, or you are angry, or you are feeling disconnected. So meditation to us is about that. It is about lifting the veil of ignorance and allowing us to see our truth so that we may be empowered to transform that condition from a limited state to moving into a limitless consciousness. So today we will learn and practice the very simple meditation called the Soul Sync meditation. This is one of the meditations that One World Academy graduates all over the world do it as a daily practice. So the purpose with which the Soul Sync meditation has been designed, it's a twofold purpose. One, Soul Sync meditation puts you in a very beautiful state of being. It puts you in a very calm, blissful, loving, appreciative state. You feel very nice within when you do this meditation, which is why we recommend that Soul Sync be done first thing in the morning, so that you're beginning your day in a beautiful state. And the effects of that beautiful state will run through your entire day. It will help you work better. It will help you relate to your family better. It will help you bring more focus and attention in whatever you're doing. It will help you manifest more excellence in what you do. The second purpose of Soul Sync meditation is when in this beautiful state of consciousness, you hold an intention. The likelihood of those intentions coming to pass or becoming your reality is very, very high. So Soul Sync basically empowers you to manifest your intentions. it puts you in a very deep state where the gap between thought and reality is in some ways reduced. And therefore, we are hearing more and more stories of people experiencing various forms of synchronicity, where they hold an intention for a very favorable outcome in soul sync, and it comes to pass. Just about 2 weeks ago, one of the One World Academy grads had posted her experience on a WhatsApp group, saying that it was long pending for her to receive some money that she had lent to somebody. And she had been approaching this person many times to return the money, but for whatever reason, the person was unable to return, giving some excuse, delaying the whole process, and it was a very substantial amount of money. So she did the soul sync meditation, and that particular day, she decided to hold this intention for this money to be returned. And she found herself very naturally moving into a very deep state where she could hold the intention very powerfully. And even as she was holding the intention, her phone was buzzing, but she decided not to open her eyes because she wanted to complete the meditation and then look at the phone. When she opened her eyes at the end of the meditation, there was a WhatsApp message from that person who owed her money saying, "I'm so sorry that I have been delaying this process. So please send me the wire transaction details. I want to send you the money right away." So even as she is holding the intention, that person's response is coming to her, something that has been pending for quite some time. In the deep state of consciousness, somehow she was able to impact him in the fabric of consciousness, and things came to pass as she had wanted it to. So we are hearing more and more such stories of healings, physical healing happening in the body, diseases being cured, of beautiful experiences like these, favorable outcomes, healing of relationships, and of course, people moving into beautiful states of love, of connection, from which there is a greater appreciation of life, of relationships, etc. So we will do the soul sync now. Soul sync basically has 6 steps to it. And these 6 steps have been designed in such a way that they progressively lead you deeper into yourself. So the first step is you sit in a comfortable posture, you hold your spine erect, and you rest your hands with your palms facing skywards like this, whereby your thumb can touch your fingertips. So you rest your hands on your thighs like that. And the first step of soul sync is you close your eyes and you take 8 slow and deep breaths. So when I say slow and deep breaths, you breathe only through the nose. You don't open the mouth. You breathe slower than usual. So you try to make your breathing more restful, more slow. The third thing is you breathe deeply. The third parameter of conscious breathing is you don't just breathe into the chest. You breathe all the way into the abdomen, whereby the diaphragm is moving completely. So when you inhale, your belly button moves outwards. When you exhale, it moves inwards. That is the third parameter. The fourth parameter is you try to make your exhalation longer than your inhalation, preferably twice as long. But that could come with practice. But if you could at least exhale in a very controlled manner. So you're not letting all air out at once, but you're letting it out little by little. So your exhalation tends to be long. Then that helps your body move into a very relaxed space. So the 4 parameters of conscious breathing are: you breathe only through the nose, you breathe slower, longer than usual, you breathe deeper into the abdomen, and your exhalation is longer than your inhalation. in this fashion, you will take 8 breaths. And for each breath, you're being completely mindful of it, which means you're observing the breath move in and out. And for each conscious breath, you touch the tip of one finger with your thumb. So for the first breath, you touch your index. For the second breath, the middle finger, third, fourth. Now, distraction is natural. If you're not trained in meditation, it is likely that you do 2 breaths with total attention. By the time you're in your third breath, your mind is somewhere else. You're thinking about a flight ticket that needs to be booked, or you're thinking about the lunch that needs to be made, or whatever. That's perfectly natural. But that is what is the purpose of touching these fingertips. They are to anchor you in being present to every breath. So if you find yourself being distracted in one of the breaths, then don't move from that finger. If it is the third breath, keep touching the third finger. Recognize that you're distracted and take one extra conscious breath. So if you get distracted 8 times, you will end up taking 16 breaths. So the purpose of touching the fingertips is, 1, it roots you in that awareness of being totally present. 2, there is this faculty in the brain, the faculty of proprioception, which is the brain's ability to orient the body in space. And touching your fingertips gently in meditation is one of the ways to enhance this faculty in the brain. So you touch your fingertips 8 times for each breath. That is stage 1 of soul sync. Stage 2, you inhale deeply through the nose, and as you're exhaling, you make a humming sound like a bee and sustain it for as long as you can. So it's like this. And as you hum, you hold all your attention on the sound vibrations you're creating. You do this 8 times. For each time you hum, you touch the tip of one finger. The benefit of this humming is, when you hum, the gentle vibrations it creates, it makes your sinuses release tiny amounts of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, when it enters your bloodstream, it relaxes your muscles, it dilates your arteries, it slows down your heart rate, it lowers your blood pressure. It puts your body in an overall state of relaxation. It helps you enter deeper into meditation. So 8 times of humming is stage 2. Stage 3, you take 8 breaths again, but this time you bring awareness to the naturally occurring breath pause that happens after inhalation and before exhalation. This is not a breath hold where you inhale and then you consciously try to hold your breath for some time and then exhale. It's a breath pause. Your breath moves in, and before it turns outwards, it naturally just gets suspended for a moment. That happens because of the movement of your diaphragm itself. Your diaphragm stretches fully, and before it contracts back, it just suspends for a moment and then it moves up. So you catch yourself having that minute breath pause after inhalation 8 times. So this requires a little more, a deeper level of awareness. So you can see progressively your awareness is being deepened. First 8 breaths, then you're doing the humming, then you're moving into observing the breath pause 8 times. And for each time you touch the tip of one finger. Then stage 4 of soul sync. You internally repeat a mantra. The mantra in Sanskrit is aham. The English equivalent of that would be I am limitless consciousness. So you internally say it. you don't say it outwardly, you hear yourself say it in your mind. You say it very slowly, 8 times, and for each time you touch the tip of one finger. So the mantra is more like a reminder of the purpose of our spiritual journey. All spirituality is essentially a movement away from the limited self to limitless consciousness. So as you're repeating to yourself, I am limitless consciousness or aham, it is a reminder to you that that is what your spiritual journey needs to be. Then stage 5. In stage 5, you don't move between the fingers. You just touch the tips of your index and thumb and keep your hands resting in that position. And you visualize or you imagine and feel yourself becoming limitless. Like all the boundaries of your body are dissolving and everything around you is transforming into one unitary field of light. Like there is just endless light all around you. If you're good at visualizing, you can visualize like that, or just feel yourself, dissolve all boundaries and expand into the whole universe. So you move into an expansive state like that for about a minute. And then in stage 6, you visualize, you hold the intention that you want to fulfill in your life. So the intention could be something that you desire for yourself. You could also hold an intention for something that you desire for others. Just that your intention should not be desiring of harm for others. So if you want to see someone be healed of their disease, or you want to see someone be happy or get the job they want, or you want something for yourself, you can hold that intention. The way you hold that intention is you see and feel it happening to you right now. As though in the present, in this very moment, you are enjoying that, whatever you seek. So let us do the meditation now. I will be once again giving you reminders as we go along. So you can first sit in a comfortable posture, hold your spine erect, rest your hands with your palms facing skywards. And before we begin soul sync, just close your eyes. Just let your breath and body settle down. We will now begin with stage 1 of soul sync. 8 slow breaths in total awareness, and touch the tip of one finger for each breath. We will move to stage 2. 8 times you make the humming sound. Stage 3, you observe the breath pause after inhalation 8 times. If you've completed stage 3, you may move to stage 4, where you internally repeat the mantra Aham, or I am limitless consciousness 8 times. Stage 5, you could visualize and feel yourself become limitless consciousness. You may now hold the intention that you seek to manifest in your life. Visualize or feel it actually happening to you in this very moment. Whenever you're ready, you take a deep breath and slowly open your eyes. So those among you here who have not experienced One World Academy events and are interested in knowing more about the Academy and experiencing what we offer, you could definitely consider joining our events worldwide. We offer these courses called Being Limitless, which are weekend spiritual events. We offer them worldwide. So there's one coming up in Ireland in June, from June 9th to 11th. So I will be there and I hope to see many of you there. So good luck with your 30-day meditation challenge. You definitely will be in a much more beautiful state at the end of these 30 days, and it'll be wonderful to see you at the Being Limitless. So thank you, Sinead. Thank you, Joe, for making this possible.
Thank you, Krishnaraj. That was lovely. I just remember when I learnt the soul sync the first time, there was the stage 5. It took me a while to understand it. Now maybe everybody else got it, but it might be worth explaining. You know, when you go back to just holding your index finger and your thumb, and you say visualize limitless consciousness. What I do now is I imagine a bright white light, and I'm kind of, I don't know, I dissolve into it, and I'm just part of it, white light. But it took me a while, and it probably took me some time of listening to what others experienced during that. So it might be worth just talking a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
No, I think each has their own way of moving into that state. Like what you just said is beautiful, but I think the underlying essence is you allow yourself some time to move into a state where you experience as if there are no boundaries to you. So for me, how it happens is it feels like the body and all the objects around me, everything around me is just melting into light, and all there is like one expansive, endless field of light. That's how I feel it. I've spoken to some others who don't necessarily visualize it, but they feel it very strongly. They feel as though the boundaries that make them feel like they are this body and separate from the other, or everything else is outside of them or different from them. Those boundaries suddenly, they start dissolving, they cease to exist, and it feels like one continuous infinite field of existence or consciousness or whatever you call it. So it's basically about moving into a space where you feel connected and one. And each has their own natural way of moving into it.
Lovely, thank you. Does anybody have any questions? You can unmute yourself now, or you can put them in the chat box as well.